Hello, this is Andrew from PayPal, and today I'm going to show you how to upgrade a classic PayPal Mark flow into the new PayPal JavaScript. So the Mark flow, we typically call it Mark. It's just a checkout from an actual payment page instead of the cart page. So you'll typically see this. You'll have a shipping address, some payment methods, where you can put your credit card in, or select PayPal. So first, I'm just gonna go over what this integration typically looks like, so you can kind of tell if your integration looks similar. You can use this video to help you upgrade. All right, so this can look a lot of different ways on a merchant's site, but typically you'll kind of see like radio buttons, where you can select different payment methods. This could be a select. This could be really anything. It's just basically this is off of the actual payment page. So you'll see that in order to do PayPal, you just click the radio button, so we can take a look at that and actually see what it's doing. So it's just a small radio input, and there's some JavaScript that is just listening for a change when that radio button changes, and then it's doing some showing and hiding if it's not. So really all this is doing is showing you'll be redirected to PayPal when you click continue if you select PayPal, or it's just showing the credit card form if you're not. So the real work is happening when you actually hit continue. So let's inspect that real quick. All right, so we can see that there's just an input submit. So we need to find the form. We'll see that the form itself is just posting to itself. So it's posting to the payment, the same page, with the method post. So we can assume that all of the actual logic is going to be happening on the server side then. So let's take a look at the actual server side code real quick. So we'll need to find the payment post route. All right, so you'll see here is where I'm handling the post to payment in this function, and basically I'm just reading out if there's a payment method field that is equal to PayPal, then I am executing the set express checkout redirect function, which eventually executes the set express checkout API call with these parameters, and then it's going to do a full page redirect here. So it's going to call that, await the response, and then do a redirect to sandbox with the token. Let's take a look at what's going to happen on the return then real quick. So you're going to see once we actually click that continue button, it's going to go to PayPal, and then PayPal is going to return us to this return URL, which is classic confirmation. So we can just look at this confirmation. This is where we're executing the get express checkout details API call, and we're rendering the confirmation page. So when I click this button, we should execute set express checkout and then do a 302 redirect to PayPal to approve the payment, and then PayPal is going to return us to that confirmation page where we are going to actually do the get express checkout and display the information. So let's do that real quick. Go ahead and click continue here. Log into PayPal account and hit continue to approve the payment. And then we're going to redirect to the return URL. All right, so here's our confirmation page. At this point, we're just saying, hey, here's your PayPal account information. Here's the shipping information that you selected at PayPal, and then the order information. So when I click place order here, all that's going to do is kind of like the previous video when we did Express Checkout shortcut. It's going to do a post to the do Express Checkout, and you can probably guess what that does, but it just executes the do Express Checkout API and then does a redirect onto my server to a done route and puts the response in the URL so we can get some information off of it. All right, so when I click place order, it should do Express Checkout and then redirect me to my done page and show me my transaction information. And that is the typical flow for a mark flow for a merchant, integrated using the classic approach using redirects. So now I'm going to show you how to upgrade that to use the PayPal JavaScript. All right, get back to my payment page here. All right, so let's take a look at the code here. All right, so first to note with the checkout JavaScript is you have to render a button. So there's not really any good way to have this exact same functionality, like click PayPal and then click this continue button. With the JavaScript, we have to render the button. So we're actually going to change it up a little bit to where we're going to make the form. We're going to actually render a PayPal button when they select this radio button. All right, so let's take a look at it real quick. So here we have our PayPal radio button. So here I'm going to say, I'm just going to create a div called PayPal button, where I'm going to inject the PayPal button. And I'm going to set it to display none, just so that when the page loads, you don't see anything until you actually click that radio button. All right, so then when we click the radio button, I'm going to want to actually display that. So I'm going to say document.get element by ID PayPal button .style.display equal initial, which is actually going to display it. And then if it's not PayPal, we're going to hide it. All right. So now I'm going to get the code that I need from the PayPal documentation. And the best spot that I like to go for this is the interactive demo. You can see there's a Markflow demo here as well. So I am going to first off grab the script tag. If I can find it, here we go. We need that. So let's grab that. You can really put this anywhere. I'm just going to put it right under the header. All right, so now I'm going to grab the button rendering function here. I'm actually just going to reuse this script tag that I already have and kind of put it in line here. All right. Clean this up a little bit. So we do want environment sandbox. As far as the client, this is only used for REST integrations. We're using the classic APIs, so this is not needed. Go ahead and remove that. And then we did just use PayPal button for our button ID. So it's going to inject our button into this div ID that we created. All right. Now we have to do our payment callback. So once again, the payment callback needs to return the PayPal token. So this is kind of like we did in our Express Checkout shortcut video. We had to change this to more of a web service, so we're going to do that again. So instead of doing the redirect here, we want to respond with JSON. So this is going to make it more of a web service. So this time, instead, we are going to call setExpressCheckout. We're going to await the response, and then we're just going to respond with the JSON response so that the JavaScript can use the response there. So I'm going to restart my server for that change to take effect. All right, I'll go back to the payment page. So now we need to make an API call to hit that web service. You can use any library you want, but we have a small HTTP library included under PayPal request dot, and we want to post. The URL should be the same as the current form, which is actually we need to do the setExpressCheckout API call, which is post to setExpressCheckout. And that's actually setExpressCheckout. And I believe it requires a couple things: amount, currency, and action. Once again, that's really up to you whether you want to do it this way. You can handle all this on the server side, and that's probably the best way to do it, but I'm just tossing it in here for right now. All right. So this is actually going to return me the whole response of the setExpressCheckout call, but I don't want the full response. I want the actual token. So then I just say .then the response from that. I want to return res.token because that's where the Express Checkout token is located in the response. All right, and then we have our unauthorized callback. So here we see this is actions.payment.execute. That's for the REST API. We're not using that. And so all we have to do here is the exact same thing that we did in the Express Checkout shortcut one. Is just follow the same logic that would have happened before, which is redirecting to the return URL. And it's super simple to do. All we have to do is return actions.redirect. So when you're done with the PayPal flow, it's just going to automatically redirect you to the return URL, which is exactly what our application is expecting, because that's how classic integrations were created. And then I'm just going to add the on cancel as well. And this is if the user cancels during the flow, we also do a return actions.redirect, and that would actually take you to the cancel URL, just like your application's currently expecting. And then lastly, it's probably a good thing to have an on error to do something if there's an error. So we're just gonna alert error. But we should never see this because everything always works as it should. All right. So that should be what we need to do. All right, so now let's go back to our web page here and do a refresh. All right, so now I'm going to select PayPal. Awesome, so now we see our PayPal checkout button right here. So one thing we might want to do when PayPal is selected is probably remove this continue button, right? Because we don't want the user to select PayPal and then continue anymore. They have to click the PayPal button, and then we're going to actually redirect them after they're done. So we could do that a whole bunch of ways. The easiest way is probably just disable the button. Let's do that real quick. So if we select PayPal, we want to disable this button. I think we can do that by giving it an ID equals continue button. And then if we do oops. We're going to disable it if they select PayPal, and we are going to enable it if they don't. Let's try that out real quick. So now you see I can't actually select that. Probably want to handle it some a little differently, but just so you know that you'll probably have to do that. All right, so now I am going to select PayPal. And we'll get the nice little PayPal pop-up. All right, so now I'm going to hit continue. And we are back to our confirmation page, just like we were before, right? So you see we have a return URL with the PayPal account information, we have the shipping information, and we have the order information. So now when I click place order, it should just place my order just like it would have in the old flow. And there we go, we got our transaction ID. All right, and that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more videos coming in the future. Thanks.